Hi everyone, this is Billy, co-founder of Trade Prosper. First, I want to once again thank you for taking our course. I'm sure by now you've learned a ton from Mike, especially about the various ways to analyze the trends and how to take profitable positions just like the professionals do. So I'm here now to introduce you to the world of options and to show you how to take the stuff that Mike has taught you and to basically supercharge them even further. Now, I've been dealing with options for over 14 years. And in my experience, most people tend to shy away from them as soon as the word option is mentioned. So if this is you, I guarantee that by the end of this video, you'll feel much more comfortable about what you'll learn about options in general in this particular course. You'll see that I've set out the course in such a way that you'll be exposed to the correct ways of using them. In other words, you will be able to learn exactly what you need to know in order to get busy trading options. And the good news is that you don't need to feel intimidated or skeptical about options, because once I'm done with this course, I'm here to show you just how valuable these things are. I will show you that there are in fact 3 different ways in which you can use options. And really, only one of those is a bit tricky. The other 2 are fundamental to what you are doing already. And trust me, once you see how you can use options and how they change the way in which you trade, you'll no longer view them as scary, but instead as a very, very important part, if not critical, as an addition to your trading toolkit. So let me show you what you'll be learning in this section of the course. First, you need to understand that when I say trading options, you're not really trading options in the traditional sense of the word. In most cases, we'll in fact only be using options rather than physically trading them. But this will become clearer as we move along throughout the course. But it is extremely important to me that you understand this fact, because there are very few options courses out there that'll be teaching options in the way we'll be doing in this course. In other words, tying them to a fundamental trading strategy, such as trend trading. So we'll show you how to do that. And we'll do it in such a way that you'll be extremely comfortable in the stuff that you learn. It'll almost feel like natural extension of what you're doing already. Let's face it, most people run for the doors merely at the mentioning of trading options. And then if you add the Greeks to it, the Greeks are equally scary if you wanted to trade them as your key focus. By Greeks, I mean those abstract concepts such as the volatility or the delta of an option. In fact, let's make a rule. No option Greeks allowed. So how does that sound? I think I'm going to introduce the course to you this way, so already you should be feeling comfortable about what you're about to learn. So why options? Well, there are 3 motives when you trade options. The first motive is another way to express an actual trading strategy in the underlying instrument itself. Now here, it's important just to mention that the underlying can be anything. I mean, it can be a share, a stock, it can be a currency pair, it can be a future or an index, doesn't matter. The concept remains exactly the same. So back to our example now. If you want to express a directional view in, say, a company's shares, then you can use options instead of using the actual shares. And by using options, you can supercharge this trade that you're looking to take. A second motive for trading options could be to hedge an existing or an additional trade. For purposes of this course, we'll focus just on these 2 terms, but let me just mention to you the third motive for trading also. This is the one that gets a little bit tricky, and this is if you actually want to trade the options itself. In other words, expressing some abstract form. So if you have a view that volatility is going to be rising or falling, and you want to take an option strategy that capitalizes on that view, that is kind of what I'm saying by trading options. The good news, however, is for the stuff that we're going to be talking about, in other words, how to use options as part of a trend trading strategy, you never even have to worry about those things, because by just using the first 2 concepts of expressing your view using options and hedging underlying transactions using options, we'll be able to cover everything you need to know. Now you might ask, don't I need to trade the Greeks, or at least know about the Greeks, in order to be effective? And the short answer here is no, not really, because I will show you the little that you need to know about them, but I'm going to show it to you in such a way that it blends into the overall concept of what we're going to be explaining at that point. And in fact, you'll actually learn about the Greeks without actually even knowing that you are learning about it. So rest assured, this course is a no-fluff course, and it'll only teach you what you really, really need to know in order to be effective. There's no funny or fancy terms just to sound impressive. I've been in the business far too long to understand what is important and how to convey that message in its bare bones fact so that you can actually extract from it what you need to know in order to be effective on your end. So I'm not saying it's going to be easy though. In fact, if this is the first time you're ever introduced to options, it might be normal to expect some sense of anxiety, especially in the beginning of your learning curve. But as you progress up this learning curve, everything builds on top of each other. So one concept follows on the next. And as we progress, you'll become more and more comfortable in your own ability. So with that, I wish to invite you to sit back, relax, and go through this course in a sequential fashion. In other words, don't skip ahead. There is really no benefit to it. You're not going to learn anything quicker. You're not going to start making money quicker. In fact, you're probably going to be a little bit dangerous because you're going to think you know stuff, but you haven't really got the fundamentals of what you're trying to apply. So I would say just take your time, go through everything step by step, and as we progress, every piece of the puzzle will fall in place. So here's the key difference. So for normal option courses, you end up expressing a trade and you will measure your profit in relation to how much money you make on the option. Where in this particular course, we're actually starting on the other end. We're saying this is a trend trading course. So by trading the trend, you already have a motive for being there. What we're trying to do is to sharpen up that motive so that we reduce the risk and give you the maximum potential benefit from that trade. So we're actually starting at the outcome. We're saying this is what we wish to achieve. How do we achieve it? And this is the how. How do we use options? What type of option do we put in place? What type of structure do we put in place? And I want to get you to the point where you can do that analysis by yourself. All right. So nothing to be intimidated about. Using options will become second nature, much like buying or selling the shares are to you now. All you need to do is just commit to going through the modules one by one. My promise to you is that at the back end of the course, you'll see I would have unlocked all the value that options can add to your portfolio. But instead of me promising you that, why don't we just get busy and I'll go show you this in the next video. All right, thanks.